Hello, welcome my Facebook family to another session of Come Sit and Chat with Dr. Clay. Hi, let's see if we can make sure some people are already on. We're going to just give them a couple of minutes because I want to wish Trinidad and Tobago a happy Labor Day. Happy Labor Day, Trinidad and Tobago. And I would like to also wish happy Juneteenth to the United States. Hi, CT Cover. Hi, Sherry Ann. How are you? I think today is a great day to discuss the topic that we've chosen to discuss today. We have chosen to discuss challenging behaviors. The reason I say that is because this date is celebrating the replacement of negative behaviors, negative perceptions, and it's celebrating the implementation of forward-thinking approaches, right? Hi, Nicola. Oh, my family, everybody is here. Family and friends on Facebook and in Trinidad. Hi, guys. So, some examples of disruptive behavior. I know everybody is probably like, me, I know exactly which one that is. Well, let's just give you a few of them. Some disruptive behavior that you might see with children is going to be, say, disrupting classes and activities. They might be banging the desk, kicking the back of somebody's chair, throwing things, destroying objects, yelling, screaming. You could be in a restaurant. You could be inside of a classroom. You could be in church. But these kids are they're just like, I want it. Hello. Many of them might say they might be running away. Some of them might wander away. Hi, Keith. Hello, Dr. McCullum. Hi. They might actually, some of them may on purpose, or sometimes it might be an accident, but some of them may pass feces or urinate outside of the toilet or outside of their diapers. Many kids who are non-compliant, this is also a challenging behavior. So many of them may refuse to follow directions. Hello, Dr. McCullum. Many of them may refuse to follow directions. They could become aggressive when you tell them to do something, to follow the rules or to follow the directions. They may hurt others or they may hurt themselves. Some children have specific rituals or obsessions that they do. This can also be a challenging behavior. Some of them may want to fix their pillows a certain way in the bed before they can get into it. Some children, hi Keith, some children may want to eat with a specific utensil. It has to be a blue fork made out of metal, and they'll eat that for lunch. Some children will blue plate today, not the red plate. Things like that. So we would have those incidents happening. Those are different challenging behaviors. Then we have some kids that will do physical aggressive things like biting, hitting kids, biting them, kicking them. Some of them will be self-injurious, where they're hitting or banging their heads against the wall or cutting themselves, self-mutilation. Or some would be publicly sexually inappropriate. Or, of course, the famous temper tantrum and the complete meltdown. So you'd have some of those things occurring as well. So how many of you have experienced any of those? Please send me a thumbs up if you've experienced any of those things that I just mentioned a few minutes ago. So a challenging behavior. So you're telling me nobody has experienced that? Oh my gosh, all of you have perfect children. I know so exactly. Thank you. Yay. I know some adults like that as well. I definitely know some adults like that too, CT Cover. So if you think of a challenging behavior, basically it's a behavior that's going to interfere with the way children learn or adults learn, or even with what's happening with everybody else in the room, as well as it will interfere with the way children or adults interact socially with others, be it their peers or other adults, right? So I know some challenging behaviors can actually impact kids negatively for short-term reasons as well as long-term reasons. So short-term, they may not have anybody to play with. on the playground because of their challenging behaviors, because they may lose recess, because we know some teachers would take recess away from a kid. They may not be able to participate in class because they'll get kicked out because they're interrupting the lesson. Gavin, you're working with some of them? More power to you, dude. And then we have the long-term effects. I know many individuals don't want to hear this part. This part is saying that the long-term effects would be they have a risk of dropping out of school. Many kids, be it in the higher standards, secondary standards, some of them get kicked out of school or they drop out of school through frustrations. Also, many of them fall into the direct pipeline because of their challenging behaviors, fall into the direct pipeline, hi Stu, of criminal behavior, of using drugs, and also repeated patterns of failure. Hi Natalie, where was she? Costa Rica. Hello. So we need to know that behavior is purposeful. I need to say that again. Behavior is purposeful. Children engage in problem behavior to communicate something. You're like, what in God's name are they trying to communicate when they're behaving bad? Well, some of them don't have the verbal capability to be able to share with the adult or their peers because they are so overwhelmed with that emotion, whatever that emotion is, and they don't know how to share it to that next person in the room with them. So we have to figure out, what is it that this child need? How am I supposed, exactly what? I know, and you're like, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to figure this out? Well, I wish I could say that it's easy as just, honey, what do you want? Use your words. Sadly, that doesn't always work. It can if the child has reached a stage where they're able to verbally share how they're feeling and why they're feeling that way. But until then, their actions is all they have to be able to do so. So we have to make sure we identify the function of the behavior. Why is the child doing this? There's absolutely a reason. Is the child doing this to get your attention? Be it a positive or negative attention, but are they doing this just to get your attention? Or are they doing this to get access to something that maybe you took away? I swear. She say, I swear you're talking about the adults. Oh my gosh. Well, hey, sadly, some kids did not learn some of these lessons and tools and things to work with, and they become adults who are not able to express themselves appropriately either. And then we have behavior that is communicating and not actual words, right? So is the child trying to get to do an activity? Maybe you pulled them away from it, or you took a toy from them. So they're trying to get access to what you took away, or are they trying to escape something? Maybe they don't want to go and read. Maybe they don't want to go to the science center. Maybe they don't want to go to the museum, or they don't want to go visit grandpa and grandma. So they are deciding to have a fit. Well, thank you. I'm glad that explains a lot. So any questions yet? I don't want to go too fast because I know this is a lot of information in a very short period of time. So please do not hesitate to ask any questions, right? Maybe they don't want to work. Maybe they don't. There are lots of things that people don't want to do. And usually circumstances forces them into doing it. And I'm speaking of both adults as well as children. But if they are not able to handle the choice, they act out. And that's where the challenging behavior comes in. Okay? Now let me give you an example. Yes, for the adults as well. Let me give you an example. I'm going to use my daughter as an example, actually. Oh, wait. My daughter is so different, and this is explaining some things. Okay, if you want to share a little bit more about that, I will try my best to assist and answer your questions, Sherry Ann. So how is your daughter different before I give you another example? We'll just give Sherry Ann a couple more minutes and I'll address her answer in a second. So I'll continue on with my example, and when Sherry Ann types in hers, I'll express any kind of concerns regarding hers. So Carrie, my daughter, loves the beach. So just imagine Carrie is splashing on the shore of Maracas, which is the best beach in Trinidad. Well, one of them anyway. And she likes to laugh and sing when she's playing on the beach. Okay, so here we have Carrie, and then I just come up to Carrie and I pick her up and I say, and I leave. I don't even use words. I actually just pick her up and take her away from the water and walk her towards the car. Carrie begins to bawl. When I tell you, she bawled, she cried, she threw herself on the floor and she said, "Help! Help!" I swear to you, this really happened. And so when she did this, oh my God, I was embarrassed. I picked she back up and I take she right back to the water. She stopped crying and she was like, la, 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 and she was quite happy. So, yes, she wanted her own way, just like your daughter, Sherry Ann. My child wanted her own way, and she got it because she knew mommy didn't like to be embarrassed in public. So, this is what I want you to tell me. There are three things that happened. We had the antecedent, what happened before the behavior. Then we had the behavior, then we had the consequence of the behavior, right? So the antecedent, what happened before the behavior? Anybody want to tell me? What happened before the behavior? Come on, type it in. What did I do before the behavior acted up? Okay, I'll give you the answer. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't have. But I picked her up and I took her out of the water. That is what I did. I didn't say anything. I just picked her up and took her out of the water. What was the behavior? She started to cry, bawl, scream, and scream for help. That was her behavior. Big temper tantrum. And what was the consequence of her behavior? I quickly took her back to the water. Yes, I know I moved her. Exactly. So she got exactly what she wanted, didn't she? In the end, she went back to the water. That was as she said, oh, great. Now I know how to get my own way. I could just throw a temper tantrum and mommy will do whatever I want her to do because I know she doesn't want to be embarrassed. How many of us have been there? How many of us have experienced that with our children? Temper tantrums just appropriately in public because they know we're not going to do anything. And my goodness, my sweet child knows I don't hit. So she kind of had me by the neck at that point, basically. So now that I figured out what the behavior was and I figured out why Carrie was acting the way she was acting, I said, I'm going to prevent this. She behaved like my darling student Angel and screamed her head off. Yes, she did. And that young lady has some lungs. I'm quite sure Angel does too, Nicola. So, Carrie, I need to know, what do I need to do to prevent this behavior from happening? And how am I going to teach Carrie new behavior? So, yes. I'm sorry, excuse me. Sherry Ann say, nope, I'm in Trinidad. Licks, sure. Yes, I am Trinidadian, Sherry Ann. But sadly, I do not believe in spanking. And I will share with you a little bit later and maybe at our next meeting why I don't believe in spanking. But anyway, so I have to prevent this behavior from happening. I need to teach Carrie to replace this negative reaction or this challenging behavior with a new behavior that is more positive. And I want to reinforce when she does all the new positive behaviors. I have to reinforce that. So just think of those three things. We want to prevent the negative behavior, the challenging behavior. We want to teach the child a new behavior to replace that challenging behavior. And we want to reinforce positive behavior with positive reinforcements or positive rewards, right? So those are some of the things. Sorry for you and that. Yes, when she come home, auntie here. I know my family in Trinidad would say they will do the spanking for me. We'll see. She's much older now. Okay, so for me to prevent this from happening, this is what I thought I should have done if the scenario had changed. Hello. If the scenario had changed, this is what I should have done. I needed to have given Carrie some time. So I would then approach Carrie and say, sweetheart, it's almost time for us to go. Do you want to get ready to go now in the car, or do you want mommy to come back in 1 minute? The reason that I'm giving her a choice is it's not like cold turkey drastically pulling a child away from an activity that is fun for her. Carrie has trouble with transitions. She has trouble going from one activity to the next, especially if she likes the activity that she's doing or she likes where she is. She doesn't want to leave, especially the beach. So in me teaching Carrie, basically saying to her, I'm giving you a choice. I'm saying, do you want us to leave now? Are you ready to leave now? Or do you want mommy to come back in 1 minute? So Carrie, of course, is like, 1 minute. And so she goes on playing, and I go away and I come back. Now I come back in 1 minute. So, and I also come back with a little bucket. I said, okay, honey, it's 1 minute is up, time to go. But before she can even fuss, I say, come with mommy. Let's fill up the bucket with water so we can wash your feet, wash the sand off your feet. Okay. And while we're doing that and we're walking back to the car to wash our sand back with feet, I said, so honey, what would you like to do when we're in the car? Would you like to listen to an episode of Dora? Or would you like to play with your favorite video game for 15 minutes? I am trying to teach Carrie right now a new behavior because I know she's still going to be upset, but I'm giving her a choice of positively choosing a different task that will help her transition. All right. So in doing so, she has two choices. Please don't make the mistake and tell a child, so honey, what you want to do? If you tell a child, honey, what you want to do? They will say, I want to stay at the beach. I want to stay. You give them you didn't give a choice. You just say, I want to stay at the beach. So make sure you give them choices. So the choice I gave her was either Dora, and also I said, listen, watch one episode of Dora. I didn't say she can watch Dora the whole time. We need to be conscious of how much screen time we give our children, please. And I also said 15 minutes of your favorite video game. Do not use the television and the video games as a babysitting tactic, please. That is not going to help the child whatsoever. We want to assist them in being able to know that they could only be on these things for specific times, and they can't be on them for a very, very long period of time. Exactly. So we would ensure that by giving them two choices. So she had Dora, and she can't get both of them, but she can get one or the other, right? Yes, Trinidadians, all you hear that? I am assuming CT cover that you mean concerning the screen time. Our children need to have time, of course, with us, spending time with us as much as possible, interacting and engaging with others positively. So this is one way to help them with some of those transitions, right? And most of the time, all they know, when they're driving in the car, them children falling asleep. Before that episode of Dora was over, Carrie was knocked out, okay? Now we come to reinforcing that behavior. So if I know Carrington has a problem with transitioning. So when I know I have to transition with Carrie again, I already know before I even take her away from the activity, I prevent it. I give her a choice of how much time. Okay, Carrie, we're leaving in 5 minutes. Okay, Carrie, you have 3 more minutes. Okay, we have 1 more minute. I give her a time countdown so she has time to prepare herself for us to be able to leave. Okay? Then when we're getting ready to go, I make sure I give her a choice of what it is that she can actually participate in while we are either on the drive home, or what she can look forward to for the next transition task or activity that we're going to do. So, and then of course I reinforce that by saying to her, wonderful choice. I am so glad that you picked that choice. That was a great decision and a great choice, Carrie. So that just means for me, Carrie, that I get to either read an extra story with you tonight, or would you like to watch a movie with mommy tonight? Or I pick things that are going to, of course, create more positive social interactions with my child so that she knows that this is not to be used as a negative thing, that she will get positive reinforcement for positive behavior, not the opposite. And I don't want them to feel as though they can also get negative reinforcement for negative behavior. You have to give them a choice and an opportunity, okay, to be able to make the right choices, please. All right. So remember, children specifically, there's a function for their behavior. Either they want your attention, they want access to a specific thing or task or food or activity, or they want to escape something. So I know many of you know children who have used their behaviors to escape things, whose kids don't like to do math, don't like to do their homework. And they will start to act up and actually give you a little bit of lip so that you would get so angry with them. You'd be like, you know what? Just go to your room. That's what I wanted to do in the first place. I wanted to go to my room, and guess what's in my room? My TV, my phone, my music. Some kids may have some books in there, okay? But see, I put that as last. But the room is a fun place to be for most kids. So when they want to escape doing a task, be it their chores or something for school, they'll do something that will cause a reaction, a negative reaction. And many of us know the minute our children give a little bit of lip, talking back, or doing something that they know is going to irritate you to no end, they actually get what they want in the end. They totally, because you get frustrated and you're like, you know what? Go inside. Go to your room. Go inside. Get away from me right now. No, go inside. And so when you do that, immediately the kids are doing the same. So, Dr. Clay, I hear you're doing free. Oh my goodness. Thank you very much, CT Cover. Yes, I am. I am doing pre-screenings for children as well as in adults who may have some identifying challenging behaviors. You may want to screen them because these challenging behaviors don't just happen on their own. Some children may have ADHD and are actually presenting challenging behaviors because of that. Some kids may have a learning disability, be it dyslexia, dyscalculia, or dysgraphia. Some children may even be on the autistic spectrum, and this also can be presented in different challenging behaviors. And it doesn't matter if they have a learning disability or not, they are still going to be, many people are like, oh, they just want to be manipulating. No, sometimes they actually have an actual concern where you need to know, how do I address the needs of my child if they're exhibiting these behaviors? So yes, we will be doing pre-screenings from July 16th to the 19th. You're able to schedule a pre-screening to see exactly where your child falls. Your child may also be gifted. We will be doing pre-screenings for that as well, as ADHD, learning disabilities, and autism. And then from the pre-screening, we'll be able to share with you during a free consultation if your child needs a full panel of tests that we are able to conduct as well, if need be. If you would like to learn different strategies as to how to address these challenging behaviors, not just the couple that I shared with you on this, come sit and chat with Dr. Clay, I would say to you that you should come to our conference that we're giving July 10th, 11th, and 12th. Reach your children where they are at Holy Faith Convent in Couva. Oh, Sherry Ann, my daughter won't sit and learn her schoolwork. However, she remembers everything she hears and learns. excellent. So she's an auditory learner. You already can recognize that so far. So let's see what else. She can't sit and do her schoolwork. She may have a concern with being able to focus. Children with different disabilities, learning disabilities specifically, have attention issues where they're not able to focus for long periods of time. And there are various strategies that I would encourage parents as well as educational professionals to do that I will be teaching at our conference. Who can benefit from these activities? Well, of course, our parents like Sherry Ann, educators, policymakers who are trying to develop different programs in the Ministry of Education. All of these individuals are able to benefit from our workshop, because you're going to deal with challenging behaviors or individuals who were not identified with a learning disability or an attention deficit issue. You are going to meet those individuals as children, as well as you're going to meet them as adults. And so you need to know how to engage and to actually interact with this person. And you need to know, how is this person receiving the information that I am delivering it? Am I delivering this information appropriately? You would be able to recognize that after you've actually come to one of our workshops. And as I said, the 3-day workshop is July 10th, 11th, and 12th. So email us at higherpotentialforlearning@gmail.com, or you can messenger us right here on Facebook, and all should be well, and we'd be able to tell you the next steps for what you need to do to be able to register. The free sessions, how can we get one? Okay. Oh, we're speaking of the free sessions, the 2-hour sessions. So from July 1st to July 5th, I actually put out on Facebook requesting schools or different parental groups who would like to host a 2-hour session during that week. That's the only time that I would be scheduling a 2-hour free session. I would like to conduct these sessions in different parts of Trinidad. I would like to do one in San Fernando, one in Port of Spain, one in Central, maybe Cuba again, and somewhere like in Arima. I would like to do it in different parts of Trinidad so that individuals are able to come and actually get a small taste of what they would be getting at the 3-day workshop. And you'd be able to see that it's well worth your while, that you may need to have a pre-screening for your child, or it doesn't have to be a young child. It could be also an adult can also come in and get pre-screened. You're never too old to find out what your strengths and your weaknesses are, or how information actually is received by you, because that is one way that you would be able to be even more successful. If you know, how do I receive information? How do I understand it? Those are different things that you would have to learn from being pre-screened. Yes. Does the workshop have space? Yes, the workshop does have space. Thank you, CT Cover. And the cost for the workshop is 600 TT per day, or 1,500 TT for all 3 days. So on Facebook, we also have the flyer with the event, and we'll give you all of the information as well if you message and if you send me an email. I will be more than happy to give you all of the details that you need to be able to register and attend. So it's an awesome workshop. You are going to get a certificate for each and every one of the days that you're going to be there. You will get a certificate that is being honored by the Ministry of Education. Hi! And you will be able to move this on and utilize these skills at home with your own children, with yourself. If you find out that you have a learning disability or some attention issues, you would also be able to engage with others as well, utilizing this information. So most definitely, I would encourage you to participate in the Reach Your Children Where They Are workshop in Trinidad and Tobago this July. So I would like to actually come to a little bit of a close. Hello, Miss Martin. That's my daughter's principal. So I would like to thank Denise Scott. She is the owner of the House of Creative People in Marabella. At her facility, she is providing, thank you CT Cover, she is providing creative classes for children and adults in jewelry making, candle making, drawing, painting pictures. We also would like to thank Marsha Gomes McKee, the founder of Caribbean Books Foundation. Thank you so much, Marsha, for your ongoing support in everything that Higher Potential for Learning has been doing in Trinidad thus far. I'd also like to thank Mr. Reed, the owner of Amayuel Floor to Ceiling in San Fernando. He has been an ongoing sponsor for us in all of our events. Also, CT Cover in Couver, Trinidad. Look at what CT Cover has done. You are welcome, Sherry Ann. See, they've put on my cup. They deal with all of the behind the scenes things that we do, yes, in Trinidad and Tobago, all of the paperwork, all of the flyers, all of my branding that happens in Trinidad. CT Cover covers every bit of my events from cover to cover. I would also like to thank Mika Mars Creations for the makeup, and finally, Nivlek Decor Incorporated in San Fernando, Trinidad, for all the event setups and decorations. All of these organizations you'll be able to contact via Facebook or messenger them, so don't worry about that. It is sad though. I am always sad at the end of our half an hour, but it's really sad that I actually have to end this great session. I hope you guys learned a great deal about challenging behaviors and how to address them, and where you can actually come for pre-screening while I'm in Trinidad this summer, and also for our 3-day workshop in July. I think I've been talking too much. In July. So, and also if you'd like us to specifically deal with something in our next session, because I'm going to do another session right before I come down. So if you would like us to talk about anything specific next time, please messenger me so that I can, focus in on that for the next session, because it's for you guys. This information is not for me, it's for you. So I want to share things that are interesting to you. So I want to thank you again for definitely sharing this learning experience with me. I want to say good evening and good night to all of you. Thank you again for being with me. Hi, Mr. Mundy. Good night. Bye.